The truth is, thinking is not actually intelligent at all. Rather, the state of not thinking, of stillness, is one of pure intelligence. So, we are taught from day one to allow our minds to wander aimlessly, to imagine this and imagine that. To think this and think that. And the more we actually do so, the more we in turn lose our ability to focus our minds, our ability to pay attention, our ability to control our emotions, our thoughts, our actions. More and more entering into a world of madness, of self-delusion. With anything and everything being blamed for the terrible mess we eventually find ourselves in, other than what is actually to blame, of course. Now, this back-to-front behaviour would be so easily spotted were it not for the fact that the madness of undisciplined thinking, of rampant emotionality, has now actually become the norm in our society. The disease of undisciplined thinking now having become so utterly widespread that the ability to recognise the problem for what it is has now all but disappeared. Our ignorance or deliberate avoidance of the truth now having reached such a point that we choose to pump those who become emotionally possessed full of drugs, rather than turning within into our own bodies and actually facing down our own inner demons, our emotions, our thoughts, ourselves, our minds. I mean, all it would actually require in order to change things for the better would be a good dose of honesty, combined with a willingness to accept responsibility for the actions of our own troublesome minds, our troublesome thoughts, our troublesome emotions. Just look at worry, for instance. Worry is something that we, in our current state of ignorance, mistakenly accept as being unavoidable, when in truth, worry is not actually unavoidable at all. Worry is in fact no different to doubt, fear, hatred, or anger, amongst all of the other emotional responses that we are currently having to endure, in that worry is merely a part of the price that we are currently having to pay for having mistakenly allowed our minds, our thoughts, our imaginations to wander aimlessly as we have. For having mistakenly allowed our emotions, our thoughts, our minds to become the master of us, as opposed to us being the master of them, as is actually meant to be the case. Be honest with me in your answering of the following questions. How much of the thinking that you currently allow to take place within your mind is actually worthwhile? And how much of it is utterly useless? I am sure you will agree with me when I say that the vast majority of the thinking that you currently allow to take place within your mind is utterly useless. A statement which naturally gives rise to the next question, that being, if you do see that it is useless, why do you allow it to continue? I mean, Isn't all of that useless thinking, that useless emotionality, a drain on your vitality, a waste of your precious energy? Of course it is. The truth is you have been lied to, just as those who came before you were also lied to. You were actually set up to become a source of energy, set up to be emotionally drained by the very thing which is now draining you of your precious vitality, by the rampant emotionality, the undisciplined thinking that controlled those who raised you, the ignorant masses. I ask you, do you now see why it is an insult to call someone simple-minded? Thank you for your valuable time. Andrew.